Namaste and welcome to Times Health Plus. Myself, Vinita Sakpal from the Yoga Institute. I am a senior nutritionist who works over here and here to guide you on a mindful wellness on the series of sustainable weight and energy management. So, hearty welcome to everyone. Namaste, Deepak ji. Namaste, Pratima ji. Namaste, Anil ji. Great. I'm just so loving that everyone right from start that you are trying to put all your queries, all your health issues into the comment section. I'll make sure to answer you all everything in detail, but at the end of the session. Okay. So let's have a quick recap of our previous session. Hope you all know that we have come to the week 7. Okay, so 7 days, 7 weeks, 6 weeks, we have learned about number of things regarding weight loss. Okay, and this overall the 6 weeks, whatever the task has been given to you will somehow contribute to reduce your weight if you do certain things mindfully. Okay, so first of all, let's just talk about the previous session. We had learned about gut health, right? And I had given you a small task about gut health, that you have to incorporate any one fermented drink or a recipe into your routine and see how you feel better on your digestion. So have you all tried that? I want to know in the comment section that whether you all have taken that effort to make certain recipes which were little fermented, and you tried it maybe on a regular basis or at least once or twice a week. Please let me know in the comment section, because whatever the task that we give to you is the way to work on your weight. Because if you think of suddenly that you have to lose your weight and from where to start, you will never get that start point, like how I should start with the weight loss series. So these tasks will really help to you, to give you that ignition, to give you that start to look up towards your health and towards your weight. Okay, so in weight loss series specifically, if I talk about, the main goal is not looking at the weighing scale every now and then, right? The main goal should be on regular basis you should feel energetic from within. From inside you should feel that positivity, that energy, that more concentration, more lighter. That's how the progress towards your weight loss, you will see that they are the signs to tell you that you are on the right track. Okay, so Naveen ji say that he has tried, so that's a great thing that you tried. I just want to know your experience. If you can write in a little brief or small sentences, that how did you felt after consuming this fermented drinks, or at least if you people have tried having buttermilk, even that is something like a good start to add into your everyday meals. Okay, so please do write about your answers into comment section where I'll understand it. But what we are going to learn today, that also will I'll just give you a brief. Okay, so in today's session we are going to learn about our cravings. So a person who is from the week 1, they must be knowing that cravings usually comes suddenly. Okay, they are not something that you plan to have those cravings. It's not in our control, right? So today we are going to learn about what are the cravings, from where these cravings get arised, how are the hidden things into certain food products that we have to identify, because they are the big culprit for our cravings, right? Then we understand the natural ways to curb these cravings and help to come out of that craving guilt cycle. And then we are also going to understand how we can build our own toolkit regarding craving control. Okay, so of course at the end you will get good amount of practical knowledge that you can apply into your regular days. Okay, Madanji says that I have joined only last week, so unaware of the process. No worries, no worries, because all the data right from week 1 till now, everything has been mentioned or been uploaded on our dashboard. So you can, in your free time, just go and visit all the videos, because if you see in series, you will be able to, join all that dots, and that's how you will understand how the journey requires to be to reach your health goal. Okay, Fine. So let's proceed ahead. Let's not waste any more time and understand what are cravings. So let me brief you again. The cravings are usually that comes very suddenly, right? किसको cravings बहुत suddenly आती है? Do we plan कि आज मुझे craving आने वाला है, so I'm going to carry certain things along with me? No. Every time you see that there is always a sudden urge that comes in our day-to-day life, and that cravings are usually very intense. Yes or no? Now put your answers in your comment section and tell me, usually in your cravings, what are your usual options that you consume? Now I want to know your answers, because this will give me a very good understanding about your health, your internal health. So put your answers that if you crave, usually what are the usual things that comes into your mind. Some people will be like, I love consuming chocolates. Few people will be like, I love consuming some namkeens, like salty items. Few people crave very intensely for pizza, burger, whatever it is, or maybe a street food. So please write your cravings. I want to see what usually you get attracted to. Okay, sweets, chocolates, chips, good. Next is sugary items. Yes, sweets, sugary items are the like very soft corner, or that's they are the most triggers for us to end into ourselves into the cravings, right? Okay, I try to go for nuts and seeds when I get cravings, or roasted chana. Very good, Deepak ji. I'm so glad that you are being little more mindful to choose rightly during the cravings. Good. I'm really happy. Next is about I like different kinds of nuts. Superb, great. Good to continue. Sometimes when in a market, I crave for chaat papri. Yes. So this is what our senses do to us, right? Okay, Gridharji is saying that I am looking for advice on how to plan sustainable high protein. Okay, that's later on thing. Let's talk about today's topic first. Then whatever is your overall queries, that we will sort in our Q&A session. So let's be in present and understand today's topic first. Okay. So very nice, Prachi Sabji, that you drink water. Superb. So these are the things I've spoken into the week 1, week 2 lectures. So great that you people are trying this and applying it. I'm so happy that the information that has been delivered to you is really sustainable. Okay, now let's come to cravings. Cravings are always sudden. They are the intense desire that arrives, and we usually crave for any specific food, right? So now let's differentiate first between the cravings and our actual hunger, the physical hunger. What happens in physical hunger? That when we are hungry, we usually tell by ourselves to others, or maybe for our own self, that I'm actually hungry because my stomach is grumbling, right? My body is giving me the signs. I'm feeling little weak. I'm feeling my energy is pretty low. My headache is happening. You feel dehydrated. It means they are the sign of your physical hunger. But for cravings, there are never a sign. What are the signs basically? The signs are that you are either bored, or you are sitting idle, or some senses are super strong. For example, you have seen some food advertisement and you feel like having that food. You smell something strong and you feel like having that food. You listen people talking about some different varieties of craving foods, sugary foods, and therefore you feel like having that. So somehow usually we focus on our senses a lot when there is a craving. So this is first thing that you have to start identifying, that whether you are having this physical hunger or whether you are having this craving. Okay, so this is one thing. And usually a person always crave for high sugar items, or high fatty items, or high salty items, sodium items. Okay, so these are majorly present in all the processed foods, right? So this is how we have to make sure that these are the triggers. We have to first identify that what is triggering you often, whether your thought process, whether you see something, whether you talk about that is triggering you, or sitting idle, being bored, end up having something that is wrong, or sometimes you starve so much, there is a longer gap between your major meals, and therefore you end up having hunger at wrong time, and you end up having some wrong items because you are super hungry, right? So these are the things which you have to first identify. Then and then only you have to think about the foods that you choose, which I'll help you out in further sessions. Okay, now next is about it is never that only because of senses we end up having certain cravings. Sometimes a body is having some nutrition deficiencies also. So if your body is deficit into some or the other nutrient, specific nutrient, therefore we end up having certain type of food more. Okay, so that we are going to give you knowledge today, that what are the nutrient deficiencies that lead to cravings. So you have to note this down very well, because this will really help you to understand your body parameters internally. So if you see yourself that you eat too much of sugar, too much of salt, and if that is related to some nutrient deficiency, first thing go and do the test, so that you will understand that really you are deficient into certain things, and therefore you have to learn to replenish it with the food and not with the sugary or junk items. Okay, fine. Most okay, Vicky ji say mostly in the office, the free sweets. Yes, yes. Anything that we get into free, we feel like having, grab it and have it, right? Because you're getting in free, you're not so cared about, spending that money on it, right? So usually during such scenarios, we need to learn to say no. We usually don't have habit to say no, right? Whatever comes in front of you, and if that is appealing to your eyes, appealing to your senses, instead of saying no, you will be like, no, I'll have it for a day or so, it's okay, it doesn't have, 1 day se kya hota hai, 2 days se kya hota hai. This kind of attitude develops in ourselves gradually, not initially but gradually. So that's the reason gradually you have to shift your mind process. Now you have to come out of that cycle. If you get a cue, and you then go respond to that cue, and then you eat something that you crave for, then after having that food, then you will end up into guilt, that why did I had so much, now I've started with bloating, so and so. So why to get into that cycle of cue, response, craving, guilt again? There will be a cue, response, craving, guilt. No, let's come out of that cycle, okay, which is very important now. Okay, so let me first tell you that which nutrients are the one, usually when they are in deficient, you end up with what type of food to consume. Now this you have to note it down very nicely. Okay, so if a person who is craving for more sugary items, whether it's a mithai, sweets, dessert, or bakery item, or anything that is sugar rich, if a person is craving for that, that person will have multiple nutrient deficiency. Number one is silicon. Number two is chromium. Number three is carbon. Four is phosphorus. Fifth is sulfur. And last is tryptophan. Now, these are all minerals. These are all small micronutrients. And last is the amino acid. These are all nutrients which are missing in your body, and therefore you crave for sugar. Okay, so if you crave for sugar and you don't know you're missing which of nutrients, then start having the given options on the screen. Number one is, instead of going for some sugary items, go for cashews, nuts, oil seeds, almond, walnut. There are so many number of nuts available in the market. Only one thing you have to remember, these all nuts should be unsalted. Okay, in the market you usually get the salted versions. Try to purchase those which are unsalted. Now reason why, because if you consume the salted ones, extra amount of sodium is going inside your body, that will lead to water retention, and you will have bloating, or some people who will have hypertension. So try to consume all the nuts and oil seeds unsalted, and if you slightly roast at home and get it into your tiffin, that is also one of the good idea. Okay, next is broccoli, grapes, cottage cheese, like which is paneer. There are fresh fruits are the best snacks to curb your cravings and to curb your wrong time eating habits, right? So fruits you can have, and specifically be very cautious, or I would say try to add varieties of fruits into your diet, because more the variety, more the different nutrients you will get from the different types of fruits. Okay, so whatever comes in seasons, try to go and consume that fruits more. Okay, because that is the best time to have that fruit in that season. So preferably go for those fresh fruits. Sometimes you can go with some dairy products. Dairies, like you can make something like some paneer toast salad or tofu related cheese, or maybe curd. Yogurt and curd goes with very well, or yogurt or curd with some nuts or oil seeds. That's also good combination. That also you can have during your such food cravings. Okay. Then there is like berries, like cranberries, strawberries, different varieties of berry, goji berries. These are all dry berries also, so you can try to incorporate those also, because they have subtly sweet taste. Whatever the options which are given you on the screen, these all have natural sweetness inside it. So when you have that, automatically automatically it helps to curb your cravings of sugar specifically. Okay, so Annapurna ji is saying that also please mention the quantity. Yeah, very good. Okay, so anything like nuts, oil seeds should be consumed approximately 15 grams per day total. I'm talking about a total. You can take varieties, you can take single, whatever you want, but 15 grams total of nuts and oil seeds can be consumed in a day. That is safe to consume per day. Same goes with fruits. You can have 2 servings of fruits per day. Okay. Vegetable has no limit. You can just introduce your vegetable jitna chahiye utna. There is no limit for vegetables because they don't have that amount of calories. Specifically, if I talk about vegetable, don't go for the underground vegetables like potato, sweet potato, arbi, then there's suran. These all things try to avoid because they are starchy. But other vegetables you can always mix and match, stir fry with good amount of seasonings on it, and have it as a snack items. Okay. Yeah. Now, in terms of cottage cheese, if I'm talking about, of course, if it's a mid-meal cravings, then I would suggest go for like 50 grams or 70 grams, more than enough. Okay. Okay. Carrot, yes, carrot is also good of carrot. You can have carrot. Beetroots are good to consume because it have good amount of moisture, good amount of fiber, good amount of vitamins. They are not that starchy. They are starchy, but can be consumed pretty well. Okay. But potatoes, sweet potato is also somehow good. But potatoes and arbi, suran, pumpkin, these are little more starchy. Okay. So that's the reason. Avoid them in terms of craving specifically. But otherwise, in your daily routine you can add it, no worries. Okay, so let's move ahead with other cravings. If I'm talking about when you have a chocolate craving. Okay, when you have a chocolate craving, you are deficient in magnesium. Now this is a very crucial thing nowadays. I'm seeing in my clients also, so many people are deficient in magnesium. And if you want to understand the sign and symptoms to know that you're deficient in magnesium, number one is your sleep is affected. Number two, you are having a muscle ache. Okay, and number three, there are a lot of mood swings. So these three things are also somehow depicts that you are deficient in magnesium. So try to incorporate good amount of raw cacao. So I'm not talking about the sweetened cacao powders which you get in the market. No, I'm talking about the raw cacao, and you can make products out of it. Okay, I'm not telling that as it is you have to have. Of course you can make different products out of it. So raw cacao is another good magnesium source. Others are the nuts, seeds, all the seeds are pumpkin seeds, sunflower seeds, then there is hemp seed, chia seeds. Everything has good amount of magnesium, so you can have that. And apart from that are your vegetables and fruits which have good amount of magnesium. Okay, next craving we usually get is about the bakery items. Okay, sugar-free chocolates are recommended. Yes, Jagdish ji, you can have sugar-free chocolates, but always read the label and check whether it has any kind of preservatives or colors that have been added into it, or any kind of emulsifier or food additives. If any chemical name has been seen into it, then kindly avoid it. But if you get a very fresh, clean product, please go for it. Okay. Fine. Now, next is about when we crave for all that bakery items like bread, pasta, pizza, the heavy carbs, burger, buns, and everything, bagel. These all bagel. These all things are the one basically which have lot of carbs. Okay. So why we crave for this thing? Because in our body there is lack of nitrogen. Now, how you get this nitrogen? Specifically, this nitrogen comes from the process of proteins into your body. So if a sufficient protein intake is not there into your diet, then your nitrogens are not being formed sufficiently, and that's the reason you crave more for carbohydrate things. Okay, so try to incorporate all the high protein foods, as I have talked about it in the week 5 session, I guess, about all proteins, where there are number of protein sources which you can incorporate into your snacks also. Okay, apart from that, nuts, beans, chia seeds are also one of the good source where you will get the nitrogen. Okay, now apart from that, some people also crave for oily foods. Okay, so oily foods are the one where people are lacking with the calcium, and therefore you have to add good amount of calcium rich sources like your organic milk, the pure milk, not the one which has been, chemically treated and all. A2 milks you can have. You can go with green leafy vegetable because it has good amount of calcium. Specifically, if I talk about is moringa. Moringa has a good source of calcium. Ragi you can add into your diet. Sesame seeds you can add into your diet. Good source of calcium. Okay, so this is how your craving for oily foods will also be subsided if your calcium is in right check. Okay. Okay, someone is saying where to access previous week session. You will get it on the dashboard here. Times Health Plus का जो app है उसी पे आपको मिल जाएगा. Okay, now let's understand what are the common triggers for our craving. One, we understand that because of nutritional deficiencies, we get craving, but other triggers are specifically the emotional stress. So if you're emotionally down, if you are sad, if you are super angry, if you are, in that anxiety mode or a depression, then you will somehow will find some help to get rid of that emotion. And a very comfort help or a comfort things that you want during such situation is always a comfort food. So that's the reason we usually end up having wrong foods or overeating during this emotional stress. So you have to very much understand that if you are in a stress, if you are in that stressful zone where you are sad or angry or whatever, you have to first give a pause, give a good pause of 10 to 15 minutes before having anything. And in that 10 to 15 minutes, drink a glass of water and take a pause. Now, after this 10 to 15 minutes, see if that craving is still arriving, or see if that your stomach is still grumbling. Then you are really hungry. But if that is not, then you were never hungry. Okay, that was just a craving because of your emotions that was imbalanced. Okay, that is one. Number two, even a hormonal imbalance when happen, that time also craving arrives. Okay, so when there is a hormonal imbalance, specifically if we talk about for females during pre and post menses, the pre and post periods which happens every month, that time we usually we say that we PMS, right? Why we say that? Because that time the hormones are fluctuating, and in this fluctuation, a lot of cortisol, which is a stress hormone, that has been released in our body, and that's the reason we end up having some food or some type of items that will soothe your emotions. Okay, so few people will go for chocolates, few people will go for some junk foods. Okay, now next could be the trigger is your poor sleep pattern. Okay, if you are not sleeping early and regular on that same time, then your body is always in a disturbed mode. Your body is always under a stress. When you have to sleep, specifically after your dinner, if you're having a dinner by 8ish or 8:30 maximum, from there proper 2 hours gap you should maintain, and by 10:30, 11:30 you should go to bed. Since we are a working people, I understand our dinner becomes pretty late because we come late from the office. So it's okay. This is how we have to accept the reality and gradually work on the cause, right? So instead of having very late, let's try to gradually reduce the timing and come towards at least 8:30 or 8. Okay, now if you have your 8:30 dinner, sufficiently lighter meals, then your sleep will be promoted very well by 2 after 2 hours. So compulsorily going to bed at 11:30 maximum. I would say 11 is the like latest. If you go to bed by 11, you have to make sure every day you go to bed by 11. Then only your body will register that at 11 I have to promote a sleep. I have to promote a hormone called melatonin, where the sleep will be promoted. right? So when you fix your timing of sleep and you get up at right time after 8 hours, then and then only your body will be in balance, in the right biological clock. If every day the time has been changing, the body is always going under a stress, and when a stress is released at night time, we end up having something because we want to reduce that stress, right? So that's one reason that we have to work on the sleep pattern. If the poor sleep is that, triggers will happen. That's the reason we eat late night, because the sleep pattern is not appropriate. Next is the hydration. If you are dehydrated in your whole day, somehow your body will ask for more energy, and instant energy always comes from these junk items, from sugars, simple sodium rich foods, right? And the bakery products, because they are not rich with fibers, they are not rich with proteins. That's the reason we end up having that during the dehydration phase. So make sure you have to hydrate yourself sufficiently, 2 to 3 liters every day, so that your cravings will be under control. Okay. And last could be a trigger where there are longer gaps between your meals, then even that leads to certain cravings, because you get hunger at wrong time. Then already your actual meal time has been passed, because you were loaded with the work or other thing, and at the wrong time when the hunger is super strong, we end up having whatever is available out around us, right? So it's very important to maintain that gaps between your each meal. Okay, so these are the common triggers. Okay, next is, now as we all know, sugar is something which it's very difficult to manage, right? It's the one which literally hijack our brains. It पूरा कब्जा कर लेता है पूरे ब्रेन को, इतना स्ट्रॉन्ग शुगर का इंटेंस बिहेवियर पैटर्न है हमारी बॉडी पे. सो इफ यू वांट टू कंट्रोल this sugar intake, we have to first understand what does this sugar do to our body. Number one, when you consume any sugary items during your craving periods, what the only one hormone that has been released from your gut is the dopamine. Now dopamine is the one which makes you feel good after eating this sugar. So a new memory has been created in your brain that when you eat sugar, your dopamine is released, you feel good, you are satisfied with it. And then after this consumption, after some time, when your brain is settled, then you realize a guilt is coming that I have eaten so much of sugary items, right? So what happened after guilt? Then again you will under a stress. Okay, now under a stress, then during stress we end up having some cravings. So again, because you had something in cravings, again a guilt will come. So this cycle just keeps on going. The cycle will just keep on happening. So you have to come out of this cycle. So somewhere we have to stop that. When the craving arrives, we have to pause, we have to analyze what to consume, what not to consume. Keep those things around you which is going to help you, which is going to be beneficial for your body. Okay, see, once or a while if you have your own craving items, absolutely fine, but next day coming on a track is one of the important thing. Usually what happens that you go for a gym for a month and so, and one day because there is a friend's party or something, you end up going over there, you eat something wrong. Next day you become lethargic, you say ठीक है आज नहीं जाता हूँ, कल जाता हूँ gym के लिए. No, you should next day continue with your routine. If it's okay if one day things are going haywire, but next day come back on track. That's how your consistency will be maintained. Okay, fine. Now let's see how to understand the hidden sugars. Now, do you all know that the only table sugar is not the culprit? There are so many hidden sugars into your products which we often ignore, because even being an educated person, we never take that effort to read the nutritional label. What we fool us by we fool us only by looking at the appearance of that product कि सामने क्या लिखा है. If it has mentioned it's high fiber, loaded with vitamin D, C, this and that, we become impressed with those chemical words, and therefore we buy that product. But the reality is always at the back. That's the way of marketing certain products. But the reality, if you read at the back, you will realize that whether the product is right or wrong to choose for your health. Okay, so let's take a very basic examples that we think that they are very healthy to consume, but even in those healthy products, there are a lot of hidden sugars. Okay, number one is the granola bar. Okay, is brown sugar ideal and better? All the sugars have same calories, whether it's a brown, whether it's a white, whether it's a coconut sugar, whether it's a palm sugar, any type of sugar you take, every sugar has the same calories. The brown sugar is less processed compared to the white sugar. That's the reason the brown color is there. But otherwise, all the sugars have same calories, and therefore you should maintain the intake. Okay, for a per day 5 grams of sugars can be consumed, not more than that, at least for now. Okay, if you are on a weight loss series, I mean in weight loss journey. Okay, now let's understand in a granola bar. We always think that the granola bars are so energetic. They are the one which gives us the instant energy. They are protein rich. So let's have this granola bars. But ideally, if you see the packet, there are a ingredient list which is mentioned, and there is the nutritive label which is mentioned. In the nutritive label, you have to see two things. Number one is three things actually. Number one is if added sugar is 0, good to go, it's safe to consume. If sodium is below 140 mg or it's super low in amount, good to go. Okay, if trans fat is 0, good to go, then that product is somehow healthy to consume. Now what you have to check in the ingredient list, whether there is any refined flour, then it's not good. If there are too many chemical names, specifically जो sugars होते हैं, added sugar में 0 लिखा हुआ रहेगा, but in your ingredient list sometimes it is mentioned the sugar alternatives called as sugar alcohols. So the names like sucralose, asulfame, then there is potassium, then there is aspartame, then there is maltodextrin, maltitol, sorbitol. These are all sugar alcohols. Okay, if these names have been mentioned into a bar, then somehow that product is not healthy, because added sugar to nahi hai, but somehow they have tried to add this hidden sugar. Okay, so this is one which you have to look into the bars. Number two, yogurt. We think that the epigamias and many more brands there are in the market, these all have good amount of probiotic and healthy berries are added into it. But somehow when you flip the product, you will realize that they have added this hidden sugars like sucralose, saccharin, and potassium, many more things, right? So therefore, try to avoid product which has this preservatives names and chemical names which we don't know. If you don't know that chemical name, somehow that product is not meant for you. But if you know the ingredient names, that means that product is healthy for you. Okay, so that is how you can identify. Number two, specifically if we talk about yogurts, I would suggest go for unflavored, plain, super plain ones, and then you can add your own flavorings later on by adding some berries or something. Okay, next is biscuits. Now biscuits have been one of the like biggest food industry trading part, because biscuits have been made in so large amount on regular basis, and we have so much varieties in biscuits, right from the sandwich biscuit to normal plain ones to fiber rich to some choco chips ones. So there are so many varieties. Now even though if in a packet it's been mentioned that it's high fiber, it's high protein or whatever that bars are, that cookies are, always flip and check the ingredients where hidden sugars like maltitol, sorbitol, sucralose has been mentioned over there. Even maltodextrins are the ones sometimes they add into it. So this hidden sugars you have to look for and minus that product at all from your life. Try to make biscuits at home, I would suggest, because they are the safest one. And otherwise, always read the labels and check whether there is no more preservatives names or any chemical names. That's how the product is safer. Okay, then there is packet juices and drinks. So it is said that 100% pulp has been added into it, but when you read the ingredient, you will see that only 10% is the pulp, rest is all the synthetic powders that they have added into it. So somehow these processed packaged juices, drinks are not going to contribute any good results for your weight loss, right? So the sweetness which comes in that drinks are majorly the sugar alcohols that has been added into it. A lot of carbs, CO2 has been added into it, right? So somehow these will make your bone more porous. If more sugar is going inside your body, it is acting like a slow poison for your body. You will never see its result immediately, you will see its result later on in terms of certain health conditions. So person who is having arthritis, osteoporosis, it's not only the reason because you are having less of calcium or vitamin D, potassium, sodium. It's also a reason that you are adding too much of sugar into your diet. If too much of sugars are going inside your body, it get ferment and it literally makes your bone porous. So that's the reason, try to avoid sugars. Okay, Arunji is saying it is house curd is better. Absolutely, homemade curds are always better than having outside curds. Okay, Jagdeep ji is saying, what about muesli and granola from Kellogg's? Okay, I'll give you a task, Jagdeep ji. Please, if you have this product at your home, today flip it behind and see and read the ingredients. You will see the healthy products are in lesser amount and the unhealthy products are in more amount. Somehow they are not that healthy. Okay, even the cornflakes are being fried. Okay, they are deep fried and they are made like that. So we feel that cornflakes are healthy, but they are not that healthy. It has a lot of oil present inside it. Okay, so try to avoid that. Okay, and even the method has been mentioned sometimes into the packet in the label section, that whether it's a deep fried, whether it's a shallow fry, or how much oil is being used, everything is mentioned nowadays. So try to read the product and do let me know, Jagdeep ji. Okay. Fine. So let's focus on these hidden sugars more while you buy any kind of processed items. Any product you buy, first thing, your duty as a consumer is to read the label. Anyhow, whatever happens, take that 5 seconds to read your label and then only buy the products. Okay. If you buy certain things blindly, then the food industries get that liberty to generate all unhealthy products. But if we stop buying it, automatically the industry will be improved. Okay, so it's completely into our hand, it's completely into the consumer hand how to use these products. Now let's understand how to beat the cravings naturally. Okay, so number one is you have to stay hydrated. As I said, if you're dehydrated, you will curb more for certain things to get the instant energy. So stay hydrated, make sure you drink every hour or 1.5 hours for like 1 glass per hour, so that you will be able to finish your goal of that day, like 2 liters or 2.5 liters or maximum 3 liters, depending upon your physical activity. Also the amount of water increases, but make sure you hydrate pretty well. Okay, number two is start eating a balanced meal. So if you remember in the balanced meal section, I think previous session I have talked about a thali should have compulsorily 3 sections. 1/4 section is your carbs, 1/4 section is the proteins, complete half section should be fibers, and little probiotic in lunch. So why this combination is important? Because when you eat with this combination, you are filling your stomach with the right amount, and your hunger will be generating approximately after 3 to 4 hours only. But if any one thing is missing into your diet, then somehow the digestion will happen very quickly, and therefore you will end up having cravings within 1 or 2 hours. Okay, so always check your meals whether it's well balanced or not. Try to incorporate proteins and fibers into each meal compulsorily, whether it's breakfast, lunch, dinner, snacks, whatever you want to make. Please try to add a good amount of proteins and fibers. Okay, Aruna Ji is saying oats. What about oats? I didn't get you. Harsh, what about oats with chia seeds? Yes, a good combination. You can have it. Ghar pe, you can bring. Okay, now in oats, there are so many varieties. You have to understand the instant oats are not that healthy. Instead of that, go for the steel cuts oats, ya fir rolled oats. These two are the better versions to consume oats, and rest are all processed. So try to avoid the instant ones. Okay, you will all get this product on Amazon, so you can do that research. And chia seed, adding into the oats, adding some milk into it, adding some nuts and oil seeds into it, absolutely a good combination to have in the breakfast. Okay, now next is about the how to your stress, which we need to manage pretty well, because if you are unable to manage your stress, even though you have a balanced meal, even though you hydrate yourself, and you are still under a stress, somehow it is not going to help you to curb your cravings. So that's the reason, first learn to manage your stress. What do you mean by managing your stress? It means that by the end of the day, before you go to bed, relax your mind, empty your mind completely. Whatever the task you have to do next day, write it down on a paper, put it at your bed. It's okay, your to-do list is ready, you are already free, you know next day what task you have to do, right? Before going to bed, make sure you do some meditation, you do some mantra chant, or you do some activity which will make you a little relaxed and calm. Whatever the anger, whatever the sadness is there, please journal it down, so that all the emotions are just coming out of your body. More you bring all your emotions out on a paper or somebody or something by doing certain activities, more you will feel relaxed, calm, and that's how your sleep will be promoted at right time. Okay, and your sleep will be more soundful. But if you sleep with all that worries, with all that tension, all that stress, your sleep cycle is not going to be that healthy. Okay, and number 4 is, whenever hungry, go for liquid options. This is very, very a tricky thing, I could say, and very easy thing to do. That whenever you are hungry, supposedly at late night, or supposedly you are having early morning, anytime you feel that there is certain hunger that is coming at wrong time, always first go for liquid options. Now, what are the liquid options? Your nimbu pani, your coconut water, your what else? Your fruits, because it has good amount of waters into it. Then you can have some soups. Vegetable soups are also a good incorporation into your liquids. Okay, so this is one of the good incorporation during your craving times. Okay, Vijay is saying, are Quaker oats steel cut? Yeah, chalega. If they are steel cut, please go for it. If they are rolled oats, that is also fine. But beyond that, instant ones are not that correct. Okay, fine. Please explain about oats. Arunaji, nothing so important. The only one thing you have to understand, oats has number of varieties into the market. Preferably, whichever brand you want to take, you can take it. But read the word, like whether it's a steel cut or whether it's a rolled oats, then you purchase that product. Okay, okay, okay. Arunji is saying buttermilk makhana. Yes, very good options during your craving times. Okay, good incorporations. Now also you can write your answers, that what could be the best and effective way to curb your cravings. Okay, if you are having sugary cravings, what could be the alternative? If you have a salty cravings, then what could be the alternatives, healthy alternatives? Please write your answers in the comment section. Let me see how your brains are working today. Okay, I'll make you work today with your brains, because that's how you'll be able to register certain examples more and you can apply into your daily routine. Okay, okay, Madanji is saying black coffee. Okay, now when you're taking this black coffee, the time is very important. If you take your black coffee in your daytime, early daytime, like around 11ish, 12ish, like 2 baje ke pehle, if you're taking it, then it's absolutely fine and not too much. 1 cup is more than enough. In a day, it is said that caffeine should be taken only 1 or maximum 2 cups, more in diluted version. Even if it's a black coffee, more in diluted version, then it's suitable for the body. Beyond 2 p.m., you cannot take coffee, because then the coffee stays inside your body and makes your sleep cycle delayed. Okay, so try to do that. Okay, one is saying jaggery or palm sugar better than sugar. Yes, comparatively they are better, but again the calories are more or less similar. So even that should be consumed in a little lesser amount, not too much. Like you can substitute jaggery in place of sugar, absolutely fine. But even that jaggery substitution should be moderate, not like too much. Okay, Jagdeep ji, okay, Arun ji is saying puff rice roasted. Yes, a good alternative, superb. Jagdeep ji say cucumber, water, chana, kurmuras, and apple. Superb. Nice combinations. Good. Okay, great, great going. So let's proceed ahead. Now let me give you more processed replacement for your processed munchies. As you all said, roasted makhana, dates with nuts, fresh fruits, chia seed pudding. Very nice recipe you will find on chia seed pudding. Okay, please do try chia seed pudding and let me know whether you enjoyed it or not. Then there is coconut water. You know, even during your cravings, you can have malai of coconut because that's the healthy fat compared to having some wrong junky fat. Okay, so that is also one of the good replacement during your um, cravings. Okay, Arun ji is saying chana jor. Okay, so chana jor jo garam which is snacks aata hai, if you using that ready made one which is been super salted, then that's how extra amount of sodium is going inside your body leading to more bloating. But if you're consuming in very little amount, absolutely fine. Nowadays you will get this chana jor in less sodium forms also. So try to see the packet which jahan pe sodium is more than less than 140 mg. Okay, then you can have it, no problem. Also club lot of vegetables along with the chana jor, so that with the fiber the sodium content will become less in your body. Okay, less should be chana jor, more should be vegetable, like a chaat you can make, salad or a chaat. Okay, now let's understand how to create our own toolkit. Okay, number one is you have to make one diary. Okay, for a week or for a month, make one diary so that you will understand at what time the cravings usually arrives and usually what do you take, so how you can replace it with some healthy alternatives. Find different brands or find different products which are super clean that can be consumed. So that's how you can write everything in that diary and keep the diary always with you to make you realize that how you have to choose certain right products during such scenarios. Okay, so identify your triggers, stock healthy alternatives. So now usually what happens in office, in our office drawer, we usually keep all unhealthy stuffs like chocolate because they are the quick energy sources, right? So instead of keeping wrong items, keep the healthy items like a good amount of protein bar, homemade energy bars, some nuts, some oil seeds. You can add some, you can keep some fruits along with you, you can carry your fruits along with you. Then curd can be a good replacement, khakra could be a good replacement, but the khakra in which oil is less, the sodium is less, then that khakra is good. If homemade khakra, one of the good option that you can consume it, you can carry some kurmura, some makhana and keep into your drawer, so that whatever is around you which is healthy, then that only you will go and grab it. Okay, but if you keep some unhealthy options around you, then somehow you will end up having unhealthy options only. Okay. Okay, Arunji is saying, can you give us idea for snacking in the office between meals, etc.? We can take something from home to office. As I said now, I think you must have got the list what I was trying to say. Okay, banana. Yes, banana is also one of the good source. You can have banana, but every day having banana, then it will create a lot of calories. So keep on changing every day. Please keep on changing your fruits. That's how you will not end up having too much of calories. Plus, you will end up having varieties of nutrients. Okay, so that's good thing. Next is a practice mindful eating. As I have from day one, I have always talked about what is mindful eating. It is all that putting your senses completely while eating that meal. For example, even if you have kept a healthy item into your drawer, okay, but when you bring it out to eat it, while eating, if you're talking to somebody, or while eating you're doing your work, or while eating you're attending one phone call, then somehow you are not realizing how much that healthy product is going inside your body. So whenever you eat something during your cravings, you have to be completely attentive, completely be with that food, with that silence, and consume in right amount. Okay, if you are distracted and you having that healthy alternatives, and somehow you will even end up having more that healthy alternatives, so it's not going to help you. Okay, it will make you more worsen and it might lead to more bloating also. So you have to practice mindful eating, stay consistent. So see, now when we understand, when we learn some new concept, first initial days we are super alert, we are super consistent about inner discipline we are, and therefore we try to do everything in a right track. But one day comes where you lose your control and you go for a party, you go some out where you meet somebody, and therefore you lose your control and you eat it. But next day if you're not coming on a track, then it will create a lot of havoc. So it's better be consistent with whatever change that you are looking for, and that's how after certain weeks, months, you will see a good change into your weight. Okay, it's all about habits, how we develop our habit, how we put ourselves into discipline, how we do certain things consistently, then and then only you will see good results into your weight loss. Okay, let's proceed ahead. Okay, so what we learned so far, we learned about cravings are not a big thing, they are normal, they will keep coming into your life, but you have to learn to manage it. Okay, it's super easy to manage, it's just you have to be mindful to choose certain things. We learned about how to fuel our body with real food and not quick fixes, right? Everything cannot be like at convenience. You have to understand that if you require a good health, you have to invest good things into it, you have to invest good money into it, right? So instead of buying wrong things, buy good healthy products. And you have to again make yourself into control. If you keep your mind under control, then and then only you will be able to reach your health goal. But if you listen to your mind, who is always so flexible and fickle, then you will always end up having wrong things. So you have to be mindful. Okay, fine. So I've come up with an exciting task for this week. What you have to do is this Sunday, you have to go sugar free, skip all the sweets, your fresh, whatever unhealthy sweet items are there at your house, ice cream, cakes, whatever is there. Instead of that, make healthier versions at home. Eat something that is fresh, eat something that is healthy. For example, if you wish to have ice cream, instead of having that sugary ice cream, go for zero sugar ice cream. Try this week and let me know how do you feel after consuming it. You will never feel tired, dull, lethargic, drowsy when you have without sugar, the intense sugar food items. Okay, so let me know your experience if you follow this, and if you're following this, and please make a, take a photo or a video of it and share on our platform, social media platform, which is Times Health Plus. You can tag us also, all the hashtag has been mentioned over there. And if it's your luck, you will get a good wellness goodies, you will win a good wellness goodies. So please participate into such small things, because this will really make you motivated, and you'll feel something that I'll be able to do it, that I can do it. This is a start of your health journey. Okay, fine. And don't forget to follow us on the social media platform, because from there you will get good amount of content. So please following us. And in next week, the data which I'm going to share with you is all about the junk food, which is like our sensitive thing. The cravings usually that comes, that they are majorly junk, right? So how to understand this junk food, and how to make your life better by altering it, or how you can make that junk food more healthier, that all knowledge will get into the next sessions. So let's start with our Q&A session. Okay, already the questions are there in the comment section. Okay, Anilji is saying what to eat for 5 p.m. cravings at office. Okay, so you can have a fruit, you can have a makhana, you can have a good mixture of granola bars, you can have, but a homemade. I would suggest better it's a homemade. You can have nuts, oil seeds, carry little items along with you, or if possible, you can have poha, upma also in little amount if you get if you can carry along with you, or if you get dosa around you, a plain dosa is also healthy version. Or if you don't want to make yourself too much heavy, specifically I would say go for a very lighter versions like fruits, nuts, makhana, because 5 p.m. is like a time where you're ending your day, your digestion, your metabolism is becoming slower, and you will go home and eat your dinner, right? So don't make your stomach too full with a lot of items. Instead of go for very light and milder versions of snacks. Okay, Jagdeep ji say, can celery stick or lettuce can be used as a stop gap till lunchtime? Yes, absolutely fine. You can have that in between, no problem. This hummus and vegetable sticks, that is also one of the good combination that you can have at the 5 p.m. also. And in between, if you require कि hunger बहुत ज़्यादा ही आ रही है, so this liquid, so जिसमें moisture ज़्यादा है, in the food which have lot of moisture, go for that, because that will even hydrate yourself, plus it will subside your cravings. So yes, celery stick you can have, lettuce you can have any kind of salads in between, fruits you can have. From there you will get good amount of this good amount of moisture. You can try lemon water, coconut water, you can try some jeera soft, and ginger or lemon ginger mint. These are different combinations you can make and take along with you. Okay. Tea with milk is good. Does it cause bloating? Okay. Harsh tea, first of all, from the Ayurvedic perspective, tea tea powder and milk is opposite in nature. So you cannot blend together. And that's the reason we lead to a lot of acidity when we take a lot of chai. Okay. So what happens is in tea, there is tannins and caffeine. Okay. And milk in nature, naturally it's heavy and pitta prakriti to digest. So that's the reason when you blend both the things, which are, one is acidic in nature and one is heavy to digest, when you blend it and you consume in more amount than usual, then somehow you will start having bloating or digestion issues. So if tea is something like sensitive to you, that you are addicted to tea, then try to first reduce the amount and dilute it more, and then come towards the black tea, then gradually comes towards the green tea. Like one time you take your normal tea, one time you can take any of the herbal tea, and gradually you can subside your cravings. Okay. Okay, Arunji says, really helpful. Can you also make one session on making healthy snacks at home? Absolutely, I'll try my best. But for now, I'll just tell you that, this is all about being that mindful. When you know these are the food groups which are healthy, so you can mix and match and make varieties of recipes. So it's all about art, creativity. So whenever there is a vacant time, whenever there is no work to do specifically on weekends, you can give yourself 1 hour and sit and make good combinations of recipes and try to make it and have it. Okay, great. Thank you, Arunji. Okay, Harshji says that, ma'am, milk tea is a friend or a foe? Please explain. It's a foe. It's not a friend. Okay. Okay, migraine problems due to gut and sun heat. Please subject. Okay. Okay. So migraine usually happens when there is a lot of inflammation inside our body. As you said, if a gut is poor, that means your gut is inflamed, and that's how it leads to headaches. Okay. So make sure your gut is healthy by incorporating good amount of fruits, good amount of vegetable, the fiber. Because more you feed the fiber, the soluble and insoluble fiber. Fiber is basically which you can feel literally. कि ये छिलका है किसी चीज का, anything which have a good amount of chilka or little fibrous kind of nature, that if you consume, that will heal your gut. Add good amount of probiotics into your diet. That's how it will manage your gut. And of course, along with this, a physical activity is also equally important. To more of the gut related exercise, the stomach related exercise, where there will be good twisting and turns, forward bends, backward bends, where little massage has been given to your muscles, and that's how the motions will be more clear. So more the better gut, more your migraine will be solved. Avoid anything that is sour. Avoid anything that is sour, as in just say acidity badegi. Anything that leads to acidity also leads to migraine, so avoid that. Okay, Sumaji says, need suggestion on controlling teenage junk food habits. This is like crucial point to figure out, because nowadays teenagers are the difficult task. Give me a second, I'll just drink water. Okay, so specifically if we talk about teenagers, they are very sensitive. If you say them no, they'll do that more. So instead of telling them no, you have to smartly work in the kitchen behind them and give them certain foods. For example, if they crave for pizza, let me give you a quick recipe for the pizza. The base is usually unhealthy, right? It's maida based. So how you can make it better? If you can use the roti, the atta, you can use oats and atta ka mixture to make the base. You can use moong dal. You can make a good paste of moong dal, put it like a thick chila, and on that you can put a homemade pizza sauce, which is made from tomatoes and garlic and some other ingredients. And after that, put good amount of vegetables and healthy cheese. Now, what are healthy cheese? It's all about paneer. Okay, paneer is a healthy cheese. You can add mozzarella is one of the better cheese compared to others. Feta is one of the better, but again, feta and mozzarella should be in little amount, not too much, just to sprinkle, and it should be seen. So this is how you can make a regular pizza the unhealthy pizza into healthier version. She'll surely love it. Make sure, don't be behind a teenage person that you should eat this, you should eat that. First of all, try to educate them very subtly by taking their trust and sit with them, have a healthy conversation, and involve them also into the cooking, because then they'll enjoy the process and they'll understand that even a normal unhealthy pizza can be made into a healthier way, normal unhealthy pasta can be made into a healthier way. So involve them into your activities. That's how they'll start listening to you. Okay. Okay. Fine. So somehow I think I have a question, answered all the questions, and of course the time has been up. So I'm hoping that whatever the task has been given to you, you will follow that, and you will surely tag us on our social media platform, and so that I'll also understand that whatever the content I'm sharing is really helpful for you all. Okay. So please keep a check of your weights also every weekly, as we have said in week 1, and do let us know whether you have seen any kind of change in yourself. And for now, eat with awareness. Take care. Thank you and namaste. Have a happy weekend.